Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. So this live stream is an interesting one because I haven't done one of these live streams. Oh man, it has been quite some time. I honestly can't remember the last time I actually did a CGC unboxing. It has been a while. I've purchased a lot of books. I've purchased a lot of raw books. I've purchased a lot of CGC slabs. I've had CGC here on the channel several times, but I have not done an unboxing in quite some time. And part of it was purposeful, part of it was accidental. The part of the thing is that I originally, like many people, started out doing unboxings. It was what got me interested in YouTube in the first place as a medium to connect with other collectors, that being unboxings. And it's actually one of, I think, still one of the most searched terms on all of YouTube is CGC unboxing or unboxing. And I have, since I started there, moved away from that. And I guess now it is time to return after we've done all kinds of different content over the last year plus. So I see several people rolling into the room here. So I'm going to say hello to folks, but I want to thank you guys, whether you are watching this now live or watching it back on replay. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to spend a little bit of your day with me. And if you have yet to subscribe to the channel, I definitely want to encourage you to do so that you can stay abreast of all the content that I release on a weekly basis. So I'm looking at the feed here right now and it looks grainy to me. Now, what's fascinating is Comcast says I should have blazing fast speed. They say at this speed, your computer should have no trouble streaming 4K video. That's what they say, but it looks a little grainy to me, so who knows? So Patrick is here. Patrick Garage 94. I'm not sure that I've seen your name before. Welcome to you. Chris Barrett is in the house. Creature 79. I don't think I've seen your name before either. It's good to see you. T.O. is here. T.O. Martinez. Darwin Gomez. Cuz Buzz. Russ. How you doing, Russ? Wolf Mode 88 is in the house. Collecto 6. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Caleb Comic Smurf Murphy, you sir are welcome to the live stream. TJ Slabdragon is in the house. Joker's here. Ale is in the house. 90MF Comics is here. There's a lot of you guys. It's definitely good to see you guys. So we are going to unbox some books. We're going to unbox some books here. What does it say? Ghost Host Memory says he's in the house but ready to leave for work and see in-game for the second time. Brother, you enjoy yourself. Thank you for swinging by for a couple of moments. Ghostly, Ghastly Gamer is in the house. It's definitely good to see you guys. What is this? A Creature 79 says, long time watcher, just never catch the live streams. Well, there you go. It is good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you were able to catch the live stream. Poor Mike is in the house. It is good to see you guys, and I definitely appreciate anyone that is stopping by to say hello. If you guys have other things to get to, I definitely respect that, but definitely appreciate you guys swinging by. So this video is a CGC unboxing, and it is also a continuation of the road to AF15. I actually have a video coming out tomorrow. The road to AF15 is being released tomorrow, I think at 3:30. So that video is already outdated because the true update is going to happen right now. So I have in this box to my right 6 slabs that are back from CGC. I think in pretty record time. I honestly don't even remember how long it's been, to be honest with you. It hasn't been all that long, but the books have gone out and they have returned. And we are going to take a look at these grades. Now, why is this thing a part road to AF15? It is a partial road because, oh, that was loud. Every single book in this box is going to be sold. All of these books are going to be sold to put me in a position to be able to purchase AF15. This is part of a process that I started last year at some time where I was buying really nice books and holding them, and with the hope that I would eventually be able to get those books graded and all that good stuff and sold to put me in a position to buy AF15. So I don't know what these books will be sold for yet, but what I will say is they will be sold, and I will probably determine the prices very soon. So if there's anything here that you're seeing that you might be interested in, be sure to reach out to me via email or instant message or something like that, and I'll be able to tell you what the prices are so you can can determine if this is something that you're interested in. What I'll probably be doing, in all honesty, is using whatever the current FMV is on Go Collect. That's probably what I'll do is go with that, maybe discount it a little bit, and then maybe even pay for the shipping to get the book to you if you are in the United States. I'll probably cover shipping, but I need to figure out what we have before I can really lock down some of those details. So we're going to reach in the box over here. Again, there are 6 books, and we are going to see what is what. So which way is that facing? All right, here we go. Nope. Almost dropped it. So here is the first book, pulling the plastic off of it, and it is Amazing Spider-Man 300. This is a 9.4 white pages. No other details on the book. I mean, we all know what this book is, right? This is the origin and first appearance of Venom, aka Eddie Brock. And this is a pretty nice copy. Again, it came back at a 9.4. I thought that these books were definitely 9.4 and higher. Of course, you know, you're always hoping for 9.8, but it came back at a 9.4. Marvel Joe, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Chris Barrett is asking if this is a newsstand. No, it's actually a direct. So I have, I think 2 more in this box. I can't remember if any of them are newsstand, to be honest with you. Reaching in the box here, we're going to pull out something else and see what we get. And we're going to pull the plastic off. This one also is not newsstand as I'm looking at it. And the next book, I've already seen the grade now, so it is shocker. It is another Amazing Spider-Man, and this is a 9.4 also with white pages. Now we have 2 of them. Neither one of them is newsstand. Both of them are 9.4 Amazing Spider-Man. So again, all of these books that I'm actually showing in this video will be made available for sale to get me closer to buying an AF-15. And people are like, how close are you? My buddy Ben lives in San Mateo, so that's about 30 minutes away. That's how close I am to AF-15, about 30 minutes. We'll pull out the next book here. Shocker, it is another AF-15, and I'm sorry, Amazing Spider-Man, sorry. This one is actually a 9.6, also not a newsstand. So not one 9.8 in the bunch, but we do have 3 Amazing Spider-Man 300s. We have 2 9.4s and a 9.6. So not a bad ways to go. Collect those 6 says miles to go. Lon, how you doing? It's good to see you guys. I want to thank you guys for hanging out for a little bit. Bama Links is here. He says one of his favorite books, and he says he loves catching the live show. I definitely appreciate it. This is going to be a brief live show, to be honest with you, because I have an appointment that I have to get ready for, so I'll keep it moving pretty good. So Creature 79 says a 9.6 is really good. No, it's definitely not poo-pooing any of the grades, man. Whether it's a 9.4 or 9.6, it's still a really good book. So Tio was asking a question around newsstand versus direct, and this is something that people keep asking me about, and I want to say I commented on it once. Somebody else added some additional comments to a video. I can't remember what video it was. A lot of content, and some of it gets by me. There's a super chat here. Where did that come from? Caleb. Good luck. He says, working on his journey to Mystery 83, One Long Road. He says, thanks for the content. Caleb, thank you very much for that, brother. I definitely appreciate it. So when it comes to newsstand versus direct, part of it is like personal preference, right? So if I had a choice between a newsstand and a direct, and the books were in exactly the same condition, I would take the newsstand, right? Because the newsstand, all theory, has been through potentially a harder road to get to that 9.6, for example, versus a direct, which is at a 9.6, right? Because they were in bookstores and all that other kind of stuff, that being newsstand. The fact that you have a 9.6, I think, is a good thing. But if I had then a choice between a 9.6 direct and a 9.2 newsstand, I'm going with the higher grade book, right? So newsstand doesn't supersede all in my mind. It is an added bonus, and that is Reggie's philosophy to it. I don't think that I would even pay more for a newsstand versus a direct. So if you had 2 books, 9.6, one's newsstand, one's direct, to me, they're the exact same book. That's just the way that my mind works. So I don't give anything extra for newsstands. So that's just, again, those are my thoughts. So hopefully that helps. Gonna have to hit you up, Reggie. Yeah, so 90 MF Comics, definitely hit me up. Then the thing about these things is that, what about date stamps? So generally speaking, what I'll be doing is basically looking at the FMV on Go Collect. That's what the price of the book will probably be, and I may discount it just a couple of bucks, and maybe throw in shipping. It just depends on what the prices look like and how much money I can make. Because at the end of the day, I need every single penny for AF15, and so I want to try to give somebody a deal, but at the same time, I have a purpose for what I'm trying to do. So but if people, again, part of this is the road to F15. You can be part of the journey. You can be part of helping me get it. But I think regardless, you still have to make most informed decision that you can make for your collection and in consideration of your own wallet/pocketbook. So do what you have to do. Um, all right, so let me go through here. Let's see what the next book is. This is the one with the paperwork. So we'll pull that out. All right, this next book, there's a lot of stuff in there. All right, so the next book is New Mutants 98, the first appearance of Deadpool. So this is a nice book, man. Again, all of these books, I felt like they were super high grade when I sent them in, and this one indeed came back at a pretty decent grade. We have New Mutants 98, 9.6, which is not bad. I think I have 2 copies of this already. So here we go. And I think one of them is a newsstand. So we have New Mutants 98, 9.6. Definitely a cool book. Oh, I just saw the grade on the next one. Ooh. Let's not belabor the point here. We got a 9.8 New Mutants 98. So it's that's cool. New Mutants 98, 9.8. I wish that this was on one of the Amazing Spider-Man. That would have been really cool. But this one is surprisingly a newsstand, which is really cool. So a 9.8 newsstand, I think that is really cool. And again, to me, this is the same as a direct, but so there you go. All right. Let me see. Did somebody post that comment up? Somebody asked me a question about, someone asked me a question, not about newsstand. I can't remember. I can't even remember what the question was. Someone asked a really good question. And what about date stamps? Darwin asked that question. Darwin Gomez about date stamps. I actually don't mind date stamps. I actually like them. Whether it's handwritten or stamped, I don't mind date stamps at all. I don't even think they count against the grade of the book based upon my conversations with CGC. I think they add a little bit of character to a book, and especially if the person's handwriting is really neat, I think it's a piece of history that is like embellished on the book. And I don't think that it detracts away from the book at all. So I actually just did a video yesterday that I edited today where I talk about date stamps. And I'm not going to tell you what the video is, but you'll see it soon. And I actually think it's pretty cool. I do think it's pretty cool. So Chris Bear says he only likes them if they're small. I respect that. Yeah, Caleb says date stamps are cool. I would agree. I think that they're cool. I thankfully haven't seen ever any big date stamps. I've seen really small ones. I've seen pence stamps. I've seen handwritten. I think some of that stuff is cool. Even sometimes, honestly, if someone just wrote their name on it, it doesn't necessarily bother me because that's what kids do. You know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of these books was with kids. And so it actually doesn't bother me all that much, but everyone has to determine, where their limits are, where their thresholds are, what's important to them, et cetera, et cetera. So Creature 79 someone is asking whether my books are pressed. I always press books. I don't roll the dice with this, send them in and hope for the best. I want to plan for the best. And the way that I plan for the best is to have a book pressed and clean prior to grading and encapsulation. So all of these books have been pressed and clean. So that's why, I just think that personally, that's the right thing to do for my collection, so there's no ambiguity because, you could always say, well, this book right here has never been pressed and clean. So therefore you as the buyer can get a grade bump. And then what'll happen is the seller tries to charge you a little bit more than what that book is worth based upon the future value of that book after getting pressed and clean. And I just don't necessarily agree with that. I'd rather do the pressing and cleaning. Here's the price. Here's the book. It is what it is, right? I just personally think that's a little bit easier to go. So someone asked if I'm getting a AF15 raw and then sending it to CGC. It depends. It depends. If there is a raw book out there and the price is right and I have an opportunity to buy it from a credible seller, then I'll do it. More than likely, what I'll be getting is a graded AF-15 between a 1.8 and a 2.5. That's probably where my sweet spot is going to be upon prices that I've seen that seem to be ever increasing. So that's probably going to be where my sweet spot is. And again, I think that, getting graded books takes a lot of the ambiguity out of it, right? There is the grade. That book has either been pressed and cleaned or it has not. And then you have ample ways to identify the value of that book and ways to negotiate the price of that book versus you have a raw book and everyone grades a little bit differently because none of us are professionals. We all have subjective grades. As a buyer, you want to grade harsher. As a seller, you embellish the grade. And so if the number is on the book, it is what it is. And then we can have a discussion on, so what pricing service are we going to use to value this book? So again, I think there are some 9.0s and higher of AF-15. I think, you would have to go to like the Comic Link and Heritage Auction, but I promise you that there are some AF-15s out there that are probably unrestored that are 9.0 or better. I have a feeling that they are out there. The base cow says AF-15, $80 on eBay. Oh, shoot. It's a deal. Got it. Is it from China? Because I only want it if it's from China. So the next book is another New Mutants 98, and this one is a 9.6. So again, another first appearance of Deadpool. This one is also a newsstand, and it came back at a 9.6. So there you go. If you want to be ripped off by an 815 raw, well, there you go. King of Golden State has spoken. There you go. Again, I don't like to first, I don't like to be ripped off, but I also like to avoid any kind of ambiguity, that something has been trimmed, something that has been, some color touch has been added, something's been restored, whatever it is. For me, I think that that's one of the things that comes along with graded books, right? Whether you're talking about CGC, CBCS, EGS, PGX, any of them to some degree, right? Always some absolutes, right? Or exceptions. It takes some of the ambiguity out of the purchase and you essentially know what you're getting, which I think is always a good thing, because, and I've said this before, anytime money is involved, people will sometimes take advantage. So right now, here we go. How do you tell the difference between a restored comic and an original one? So Tony, I actually have a video on the channel that actually goes into detail about how to spot restoration and some of that other stuff. It was actually an interview that was done with CGC specifically around restoration. So you may want to go back and take a look at that video, that interview, because it was a really, really good one. So one of the ways to do it is you just open the book up and you look inside the cover. Right? Because if you look inside the cover, if someone has done some amateur work, you will actually be able to see bleed through into the back cover of the book, right? So again, and there are some other ways to spot it, but that's one of the easiest. Open the book up, look inside. If you see bleed through, somebody probably took a Sharpie and just tapped it a couple of times. The more professional the work, the harder it is to spot, but go check out the video with CGC on restoration. There's also one on how to spot pressable defects. So how to identify a book in your collection that can benefit from a press, and realistically, what kind of bump can you get in a grade by doing a press? So those are also some pretty cool books that you might want to take a look at. There you go. Collecto says, don't take a chance, slab it, and then UV light it. All right, there you go. I tend to buy raw books over graded. Everyone has their threshold, right? And it depends on what you're doing, but if I tell you, I'm gonna tell you, if I'm spending big money on a book and I'm buying it from someone that I don't know, possibly through the internet, I personally would like a little bit of assurance that that book is actually okay. And one way to do that is to get a graded book. I recently, well, not recently, it was more than a year ago, actually picked up a Amazing Spider-Man 300. Got it from a guy, paid a nice amount of money for it, and got the book, sent the book off to CGC. Book came back as having color touch. The guy didn't disclose it. I reached back out to him. He had a conversation. He basically got the book, turned around and sold it, never checked the book. And I looked inside. I never saw any color touch, but CGC certainly did when they got it. And, I didn't get any money back on that deal, but, it is what it is. But there was definitely a learning lesson from that. And again, if I'm spending big money on a book, There is something to be said for assurance of getting a graded book that nothing has happened to that book where it's been modified and is less than what you hope it might be. So again, so Russ, yes, please. Yes, please. I want that deal. Russ basically said he wants to trade me ASM 9.6 for Squirrel Girl number one. Just give me your address and I'm going to send you this book right now. I'm going to send it. There is a 9.2 AF15 on eBay, aka Feebay, for $531,000. That is all you, brother. That is the price of a starter house here in Northern California. So yeah. All right, so let me show you guys these books one more time. Again, it's basically 6 slabs. 3 of them are New Mutants 98. I have a 9.6, a 9.8, and another 9.6. So 2 of the 3 are newsstand. And again, these books will actually be for sale at some point very, very soon to get me closer to get that AF15. So I have a couple of Amazing Spider-Man, a 9.4, a 9.6, and then also a 9.4. So there you go. Russ says he will email me his address immediately. Immediately. Aust says he's building a Daredevil run. Do you think now is a good time to pick up these keys? Daredevil doesn't have many keys, right? I mean, like the number one, and there's some others in there. I don't think that those books are crazy expensive. So I don't know that now is a good time versus a bad time. I think you definitely want to look at your data and look to see what's happening with those individual keys within the Daredevil run, whether they are trending upward or trending downward. The fact that the Netflix series has ended might actually be a good thing, and it may actually cool some of the high flying keys off just a little bit and make them a little bit more affordable. One of my philosophical approaches when it comes to picking up runs is I actually try to focus on some of the harder books first. I'm a big fan of do the difficult stuff first and then worry about the easy stuff later when you're a little fatigued, but save your financial resources for the really big books. And so, if I were going after a run of Daredevil or whatever, I would start with the number ones. And in fact, I already have the number one of Daredevil. Not that I'll be doing a run, but to me, that was in my mind one of the more significant books of that run. There's the Frank Miller stuff, which I think is really good. All the Elektra stuff I think is really good. First appearance of Bullseye, blah, 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 blah. So again, I don't know that this is a bad time or a good time. I would say look at your data and see what the data suggests in terms of the trend. So Creature says, wow, 9.2 for over $500,000. Yeah, no doubt. James, how you doing? James says he's new to the channel, but has been collecting for years. It is definitely good to have you here, my friend. Take a look around, kick the tires. Hopefully you find something that you enjoy. Red Chris Barrett is offering me an even better trade than Squirrel Girl number one. It's a copy of X-Men Emma Frost number one, variant 9.8 for the ASM 300, 9.4. Bro, that is you're not even being greedy. You didn't even go for like the 9.6. You went for the 9.4. That's actually very nice and very kind. Lewis says that he enjoys the raw books because he can read them, flip through them, the pages, rather than just looking at the cover. As long as my comics are bagged and boarded, etc., stored in a suitable condition. Yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong with that, Lewis. And I say this all the time. I actually have young children, and so what I end up doing, instead of isolating myself in a room here trying to read my comics, is I actually am out with the family and I actually read on an iPad. So that makes it a little bit easier for me to engage the family. But I think what's important here, I think it's important that everybody always recognize that it's important to do whatever you feel the right thing to do is for your collection, right? I like slabs. But that doesn't mean that I slab everything. And it certainly doesn't mean that you have to like slabs. Slabs work for me. But I tell you, I still have a healthy portion of my Amazing Spider-Man run in a bin behind me. Why? Because I like to flip through them. I like to flip through them and peruse them and spread them out and take photos of them on like Show Off Sunday and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely get the sentiment of where you're coming from, brother. And again, I think everyone has to do what's in the best interest of their individual collections, because that's the only way someone can actually be happy. Do I have CCS? So I've used an outside presser once, and the person, it was an experiment. Ruined the book. Well, let me restate. So I sent the books to the person. The post office banged them up on the corner. The guy attempted to correct the dinged corner, and in some cases he was able to fix it, but I could still see the impact corner ding. And then he also pressed one of the books too hard and basically pushed the staple through the paper. Now, this was a someone that was highly recommended by other people, that I use him, and I did, and it didn't go well. It wasn't all his fault. It was partly the post office's fault. But once that happened, I was done. I was done, and I was all about CCS. And the idea was that I bundle everything up, I send it to CGC/CCS. They do everything. They are now responsible for everything that happens versus me having to rely upon the post office to get the book from here to this person and then from that person back to me for me to send it off to CGC for grading. That just seemed like too many opportunities for something to go wrong. But CGC has recently changed its pricing structure for pressing books, and I am starting to reevaluate my approach because of that. So something to kind of think about and stay tuned for the future. Yeah, so Tio was basically saying that when it comes to Daredevil, it's the first one, the first Electra, the first Bullseye. Yeah, there's a couple in there. I don't know that there's a ton. I'm not all that familiar with Daredevil. Like I have Daredevil #7, and I've had this since I was a kid. That was the first time he actually switched over to the new costume, which is a really cool thing. It's a beat up book. Yeah, Chris Barrett saying the same thing. It's a beat up copy, but it's my copy that I've owned since I was a child. So I'm still hanging on to that one, you know? Scrolling through Daredevil 2, #2 is a $60 book in low grades. Yeah, I don't think it's crazy special. So who is this? Top Daddy just asked about free comic book day. I just got a notice a few moments ago that they are distributing 5 million free comics on Free Comic Book Day. 5 million comics will be given out all across this country as part of Free Comic Book Day. There's about 2 shops that I think that I'm going to hit on. I think it's Saturday, right? 2 shops that I'll hit. One of them is Juan Shop, who was on the show here a couple of weeks ago. I'll probably hit his shop, and then I may hit Crush Comics, which is another shop that I like that is really close to me. So I may check those 2 out. So got any DC for sale? I don't have anything. Got any DC for sale or awaiting grading? Yeah, so I don't have any DC for sale, but I do have the first appearance of Harley Quinn back there. I have 2 copies of Teen Titans that are off at CGC right now. Teen Titans 44. And then I think I have a few other Batman books back there that I may get graded. So we'll see what happens with that. Creature says the ASM 300 is a grail. It's a classic cover, brother. If you are interested, I've got 3 of them for sale. Prices to be determined. All right. So the last thing I do before I get myself out of here and try to make my way to my appointment is I want to give you guys an opportunity to add a really cool book to your respective collections. And so as part of what I do here on Regie Collects, I have partnered up with Go Collect, and we actually give away 1 slabbed book every single week. And so the book that I'm giving away this week is Silver Surfer #1. This is a 9.8 white pages Silver Surfer #1. What makes this limited series book really cool is that this was a collaboration between Stan Lee and Morbius. I think his real name is Jean. The 2 of them partnered up to actually do this series, and I think I've already started reading it. It's actually a really cool story in which Galactus comes to Earth and basically becomes God, and is like, "Hey, people, do whatever you want to do, because if you are happy and cast off all morals, then it's all gravy," and the world just erupts. And it's a fascinating read, but this is a really cool book that you have a chance to actually add to your collection. Thanks to Go Collect. So to enter the contest, what you have to do is go to the community tab on my page. Go to the community tab, scroll down in the post where I say, "Hey, do you want a chance to win Silver Surfer #1? Look for that text. There is a link to MailChimp. Click on that link. Go to the MailChimp website, key in 3 pieces of information. Key in your name, your screen name, and the name of the Silver Surfer. Type those three things in, hit the submit button, and you are automatically entered into the contest. Now, the criteria for this thing is that we basically ask that you be a subscriber of the channel, you be a resident of the US, a resident of Canada, or have a mailing address in the United States. And if you live outside of those areas, we won't be able to ship it, even if you want to pay for shipping. I don't want to do that, right? So US, Canada, or have a mailing address inside the United States, you go to the link, you put that information in, you can then be entered into the contest, and you then tune in to the Ready, Set, Go preview show, which happens at 7:30 on every single Sunday to find out who the winner is. I think we did the FMV on this book, and I want to say it was like over 150 bucks. We'll do it again on Sunday, but I think it was like over 150 bucks or something like that for that particular book. But if you want to get it, that's how you do it. And certainly if you guys have any questions, comments, thoughts, whatever it happens to be, just make sure that you reach out to me and let me know. Do not post up the name of the Silver Surfer on this video when it gets posted. You can post any other comment that you want about the video. Yes, Reggie, I like your books. Thanks for doing the haul. Any of that kind of stuff. Don't give away the secret. Go to the community tab, click on the MailChimp link, put the information there, and that's how you're entered into the contest. No other entries will be considered outside of the MailChimp link. The contest basically runs from today until Sunday morning at 7:30 when the link will be taken down, and then the list of everyone who entered will be put up. So there you have it. The name is Fred. You guys are awesome. Chris is in the house. How you doing, Chris? Chris just had a really, really big haul earlier today. I'm driving down the street trying to go to a comic shop, stuck in traffic, and I'm sitting there watching Chris go book after book after book after book. And these are some really killer books. So if you guys get a chance, swing by Chris's page, try to check it out because he showed some really cool stuff that if you don't have it, you want to try to consider getting it, as long as you can do so at an affordable price. So with that, I'm going to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. If you need me, don't hesitate to reach out at Regie Collects on Instagram at regiecollects@gmail.com. And if by chance you have not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for, people? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you can stay abreast of all the content that I release on a weekly basis. Take care, and thanks for watching.